All right, John Tortorella,
Yes.
last thing we'll do today.
Speaking of Philly.
John Tortorella, 2 nights ago, I believe the game was Wednesday night when this happened. I don't remember the name of the referee, but the referee in the Detroit-Philly game, middle of the third period,
5-4, 1-goal game.
1-goal game, puts up his arm briefly to call a penalty. It's very brief. It's not quick, but he had his arm in the air. Maddie, the screenshot's coming up right here. There you go. So as you can see on the screen, if you're watching, the referee is at center ice. He has his arm in the, I should say the linesman. The linesman is in the air, has his arm in the air to call a penalty.
And importantly, the linesman is directly in front of the Flyers bench.
Yep. And as his arm goes up, John Tortorella calls to Urson, who's in the net, and says, "Get to the bench. We need this man advantage. We need the 6-on-5. Get over here." And that's what he does. But the referee then begins to put down his arm, and the Flyers are screaming mad because they don't know what the hell's going on. So the referee puts down his arm. Urson has to go back into the net. This also leads to a chance the other way for Detroit. It's a 2-on-1 opportunity that thankfully doesn't go in the back of the net. So I want to go back to the 2-on-1. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, here we go. It doesn't start at the play. So we don't have that in the clip. But yeah, so Urson makes the save. The referees congregate at center ice and they say, "Okay, what happened there?" And he says, "Okay, I put up my arm accidentally. I didn't mean to call that penalty." And we called a penalty then on the Flyers for having too many men on the ice because they had a 6th man on the ice when they shouldn't have had a 6th man on the ice because they weren't going to have that power play advantage. They congregate. They decide no penalties on no one.
That is correct.
Yes.
But I didn't know you could take back minors.
They didn't call it.
They technically what they did is they just blew the play dead.
Yeah, they stopped play.
But you have to have a reason to blow the play dead.
No, you can stop play.
Just generally?
Yeah, you can stop play.
Ultimately, the right decision was made.
Yeah, but you
could
should hold
argue
on.
that there should
You
have
shouldn't
been
be
a-
able to just stop play. This is what I get
So what do
annoyed
you
with
do?
in the NHL. It's like somebody throws a big hit and they just blow the play dead. For what?
So the
What'd you
Flyers
blow it dead for?
So the Flyers should have got a penalty then.
I think that the refs should sit in their shit, and yes, the Flyers should have got.
Oh, no
so that the
way.
refs look bad.
Oh,
You
boo
don't-
and fart.
If somebody makes a mistake, you don't double down on the mistake.
Yeah, they do it all the time.
Cole in your stocking.
No, but that doesn't make it right. Just because you do something doesn't make it right.
I would rather be outraged on behalf of John Tortorella this morning than the refs break their own rules, which are, hey, we blew the play dead for no reason. We were going to call a minor, now we're not. And by the way, we've seen this in the past where they look up at the board, they realize they fucked it up, and they don't do anything about it. So is it? So here's the deal: is it a minor penalty or is it not? Why did you blow the play dead? You pulled me over for speeding. Was I speeding or was I not speeding? This is what this is where I think the refs. There has to be a reason that you blow something
There's
dead.
4 officials on the ice, and I think you give yourself a 2-minute penalty.
No, but
you got to play with 3.
You're allowed to call a penalty, and then you all talk, and then you're like, "Oh, there was no minor penalty on the play. We made a mistake," and then you reset.
Okay.
Like that happens in sports all the time.
Here's my question, and this is the most important one. Why does this keep happening to John Tortorella? Because if you remember, and I think it was during the COVID bubble season, they messed up a penalty or something like that. They messed up a penalty right before second intermission. They then go to second intermission and they come back in the third period and they change the call entirely.
Oh.
And he lost his mind. I can't remember exactly what happened. I can't remember exactly who was involved. I think he was still on Columbus at the time. Or maybe he was on Philly and it was against Columbus. But this keeps happening to John. And I hope if it's got to happen to anyone, it needs to keep happening.
Yeah,
It's
fair enough.
way too entertaining.
Unlike Adam, I'm actually happy that in the end they got it right.
I just think
I'm
it's
more-
bad. I'm angry when they try not to. Like there are so many times where getting it right is like such a secondary factor. I think that's my point.
I'm more interested to know what would have happened if Detroit scores on the 2-on-1 that occurred because Philly had too many men on the ice. Do they take back that goal?
I mean, yeah.
You think so?
I mean, listen. Did they deserve a penalty? No. But I think I want to get a little bit more clarity on why refs blow plays dead. It's been something that's bothering me the entire season. And I feel bad about making it about the Flyers and punishing them for this, which is legitimately not their fault.
You're so wrong.
But why can the refs just blow it dead with no reason?
That is such a rare... No, the reason is there's chaos on the ice that they caused.
Mm-hmm. And
they fucked up.
So why are they interrupting
they
the play?
They blew it dead because of the minor penalty
Right.
on the Flyers.
Yes, which they called.
That's the stoppage of play.
Which they called.
And then they're allowed to review that penalty amongst themselves and take it back. It's the same thing like, okay, we blew it for a high stick. Like we thought the stick hit a guy's face. And then you go and talk to the linesman. He says, no, I saw it from this other angle. You made a mistake.
Not even a review.
So I was under the impression, and they could have changed this rule, that the only calls you could review are double minors.
It's not a review. It's not a review. It's talking to the other officials on
Is
the
that
ice.
not a review of what that just happened?
No, that's happened for all of your life.
It's a consultation.
Yeah, you've never seen the guys get together and say like, "Oh no, I saw that from another angle. That's a mistake."
All right,
you've never seen that happen, Adam?
I will yield. I will yield. I think that's a real fine line.
You'd be lighting their hair on fire if they called that penalty.
Oh yeah. But like that's because the 4-ref system doesn't work. It doesn't work any better than the one ref, one linesman system. And you can't tell me otherwise. It's stupid. I just feel
people are made of flesh and bone and they make mistakes.
100%. And listen, they should be able to take things back. My point is when they don't, and watch, it'll happen in the Leafs over the holidays.
So what you're saying is sometimes they don't correct their mistakes, so everyone should have to sit in it.
Yes.
Got it.
That's
so
terrible.
that they ultimately change it for the right thing. You should be able to review any penalty.
No, listen, it's definitely terrible, but I get it.
Because how many times have we seen, guys? How many times have we seen
I don't understand
an errant
anymore.
high stick? How many times have we seen an errant high stick? Like I've seen players high stick themselves in the face and get a penalty called. Yeah. They draw a penalty from smashing
They didn't review this.
They consulted this. They reviewed it within each other, but between each other.
But they didn't review. I don't know. They didn't review this. And the thing with the high stick.
And the only difference between a review is talking to Toronto with an iPad, and talking to each other.
No, but the thing with the high stick you're talking about happens all the time.
100%, which is why they should go and talk to each other.
Yeah,
and call it back.
You've changed the conversation entirely.
That's been my argument this entire time.
No, it wasn't.
My argument is they're reviewing with each other. That's a review. There was a view of that, and we're reviewing it together as a force.
Now you're saying so you want them to review everything on video.
I'm wanting them to get the call. Are you getting the calls right, or are you not getting the calls right?
They are getting the call right.
No, what if they don't? There are plenty of calls they get wrong.
Okay.
Plenty of calls they get wrong, and they don't look at it.
Yeah, no.
So is the goal? Do we have human beings doing this, or do we have robots doing this?
Right.
This is my question.
This didn't happen in this instance.
Yeah, it did though. They called the fucking penalty.
Yeah, and then they the thing where they talk to each other, like that happened before video review existed. We're having two different conversations. This situation here happened before video review and it happened after video review, where another person saw something on the ice and they rescinded.
But this is what I don't understand about this crowd is that, like, listen. Oh, I want them to get. You say this all the time, Jesse. You want to get every call right.
Yeah,
So why don't we do it?
No, I agree.
This show,
if that's what you want to talk about, I think the system they have in the NFL, where they have an eye in the sky, a referee, it's called video replay. It's called replay assist. I think is exactly the wording. It's been in place since around 21 is when they kind of implemented it. When they have turnovers, where we see it very often, they have the guy instantaneously, because he's watching it on TV like everybody else. You can see things that happen. They'll be like, oh no, fix that. Video assist said no, this is coming back, and they fix that. I would love for the NHL to have that system.
I agree with you.
I don't think that's what we were talking about at all.
I think you're ignoring the fact that this happens all the time.
No, I'm giving you the snowman to cuddle with. You need it.
I'm upset.
This whole show has just been you screaming through the windshield, except in here.
Legal Zoom, and now this. All right. No, it's just fucking annoying, man. It's. Are you gonna get the? I agree. The right thing to do was for the refs to come in and to talk like they did. My question is, when it's clearly fucking egregious, and I've seen it happen to the Leafs so many times, and if you're an NHL,
it's always about the damn Leafs.
Why can't they do that every time?
I now, Adam, you're making me hope the Leafs get screwed on a call.
I can't wait
just for the content.
Get screwed on a call. It's gonna happen tonight.
I just want to say that in this situation here, nobody got screwed. They made the right call without video.
He got screwed.
Everything was kind of normal, and I was just curious, like if they had scored, like we would have had a huge controversy. Like, do they take back the goal?
Right.
It's funny to see Tortorella yell, and I don't know how this devolved into this.
Did you have money on the Red Wings?
I don't know what happened.
Maybe.